Okay, so welcome to yoga today. Vinyasa Flow is what we're doing. Grabbing a blanket and a block if you have one, or one or the other. I'm going to start in hero's pose. So knees together and widen the feet so that you're sitting between your heels. Yeah, I like to sit on a block. Maybe you don't need to and you're settling hips down. If you don't have support, if you have a blanket and not a block, then you can roll that up and sit on it like a block would have. If you don't have enough support to make this okay for your knees, then you can simply sit up on the heels, drawing them underneath the sitting bones, or find a cross-legged position instead. So feel free to do that. We're gonna take a mudra today, so we'll just start with that. You're gonna make a fist, but keep the thumbs out, so curling the forefingers and thumbs out, and just resting with the finger side down on your thighs and the thumbs pointing in towards the center. Close your eyes, let the elbows soften back. Notice the orientation of your spine to your pelvis, and then your head to your spine, and just take some time to gently align that. Opening up at the base of the skull. And the collarbones be broad. The hips be soft. Breath starting to deepen naturally just with your awareness to what's going on in your body, your introspection. This mudra is called the Adho Merudanda mudra, and its core quality is centering. It helps to instill that sense of centering, to facilitate pelvic stabilization, and to enhance emotional equanimity. So this mudra is calming and centering with some energizing qualities. We get that balance to begin our practice. This mudra deepens our connection to the pelvis, the seat of the water element, cultivating an experience of vast inner sea that holds tremendous potential energy. As we attune to our center more deeply, we are able to channel its energy outward to nourish our entire being. As Adho Merudanda Mudra deepens our sense of centering and naturally cultivates an experience of equanimity, enhancing our ability to rest within our center, our deep sea of inner peace, no matter what is happening in our surroundings. Just take a few more breaths with this aligned seat and this mudra. Watching the breath move from the center out to the ends and then returning back to the center. Gently bring the palms together at the center of the chest. The balance, the two sides moving inward and simultaneously drawing the collarbones outward. Adding any other intention to your practice today. Bowing your chin towards your chest. Namaste. The backs of the hands to the thighs. Lift the head. Open eyes. And gently coming forward to hands and knees. If you have support underneath the hips, you can just take it out to the side. And just start with, from hands and knees, take your right leg out behind you with the toes on the floor. And just rocking back and forth, pumping the calf. So using the toes to move you back and forth so that you're using the calf muscles. And then circle on the ankle. So I go over the top of the toes, roll the outside, and then to the inside a couple times in each direction. Purposefully feeling sensation through the toes, right? And then come back to the center and switch out, left leg behind. Back and forth first. Pumping the calf, opening up through the back of the knee, moving the blood, and then circle the foot. It's the ankle that circles, right? And then the other direction. And then to hands and knees. Spinning cat-cow, let's begin together. So take a breath cycle here in your tabletop position. As you inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, drop belly down, spread your sitting bones. Stay here for your exhale, get heavier into your bones. And then stay for the inhale and let your sternum move even further away from your pubic bone. Now on this exhale, reverse it to your cat pose. Navel to spine. As you inhale, take the breath through the back body, opening more. And then staying as you exhale, release the shoulders and the glutes. Now moving back and forth. Inhaling to open the front side, but finding all those nuances. And exhaling to open the back side. One more round. Coming to your cat pose. Pause here, bring your toes together, widen your knees a bit. And then take hips back to heels. Keeping maybe the hands where they are. Maybe you got a little more space to walk them forward. Bow your head down. Soften into your hip creases. So shift a little bit side to side. Maybe massaging there. Bringing awareness into that center area, the pelvis. And those first couple of chakras. Next inhale, come up to hands and knees. Bringing the knees underneath the hips, tuck the toes. Through a deep knee bend, push your hips back to down dog, right? Start with that deep knee bend to get the length in the spine, and then you can pedal one heel at a time. Opening the backs of the legs individually. Strength of the arms, containment of the core to allow for more release. One more breath here. And coming down to hands and knees, tabletop position. Extend your right leg out to the side with the foot on the ground, toes pointing forward. And so 3 rounds of cat-cow here. A little bit different with the leg out. Good, and then finding a neutral spine. And so here's the move, and you might watch it for the first time. So then my right knee is going to go to my right shoulder, and I'm going to do like a little crunch, oblique crunch. And then I'm going to shoot it behind my left leg to my back left corner and kind of go down. It's like a pigeony, I don't know, stretchy thing. Right, you're just going to go down to what's there. I like keeping the hands planted. It gives me a nice stretch to the side body. So we go crunch, we go back, and we'll go with our breath, yeah? Let's come here. On your exhale, take your right knee to your right shoulder. Inhale, shoot the leg out behind. Go slow for that inhale. Exhale, coming forward, crunch. Inhale, reaching it back and stretch. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Take it for a little crunch. Hold the leg out to the side and just take the toes and point them down and point them up and point them down and point them up. One more. Point them down. Point them up. Back to tabletop position. Okay, what the heck was that, Ambika? Down dog. Oh. Just breathe into what that gave you, some stretch and some stability, yes? Coming down to hands and knees again. Other side, left leg out, whole foot on the ground, toes forward, cat and cow, 3 times. Good, coming to neutral spine. So now you know the move, yeah? From here, we take the left knee to the left shoulder, exhale. Inhale, shoot it to your back right corner. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, shooting back. Long breaths, milk it out there. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back. Yeah, coming forward, legs out to the side. So thighs parallel to the ground. And I'm going to keep my thigh there and just point the toes down and point them up. And point them down and point them up. Right, don't drop the knee, one more. Down and up. Good, tabletop position. Downward facing dog. Take little baby steps to your hands. Yeah, so bend the knees as much as you need to. Tiny steps to work through the hips, finding a hip distance with the feet. Bend your knees a good amount. Let your head hang down. Feel the pelvis pour the spine forward. Shake out your head, yes and no. Maybe wiggle the torso. And the broadening of the hamstrings and a narrowing of your sitting bones to draw the belly in. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows high. Wait for an inhale, come all the way up. Hands in the back pockets. Right, so down on your buns. Get your legs strong. Hug your elbows and lift up through your chest. And just finding a neutral spine here, not even needing to come into more of a back bend, but just taking that tailbone down, pulling the hip points straight up, hugging the knees in, thighs back. Good, and then just gently release the arms down to the sides. Keep that shape for your mountain pose. Closing the eyes or gazing passively down the nose. Breathing into this aligned shape and softening any over-efforting. Good, inhale, sweep the arms out and up if you got the room. Exhale, bow forward, pull the belly back, bend knees as much as you need. Inhale, come to our halfway up position. Press the thigh bones back, reach the chest forward, hug the elbows and the belly in. Exhale, bow forward, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. Legs are strong. Good, so knees, chest, and chin. Lower your knees down and then pull the hands back to send your chest and chin beyond the fingertips. Pause here. Then lower hips down, reverse it. Loop the shoulder blades down the back, cobra pose. Root the pubic bone. Exhale and bow. Coming back to that knees, chest, and chin. So hug those elbows back. And then push back to a child's pose. Take a full breath cycle, broadening through the navel so you can snuggle into your thighs. Inhale up to your hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. Bring your feet together. Inhale the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Arms are straight, legs are straight, belly's pulled back. Exhale, super slow step inside your right hand. Keep the torso down, inhale, reach chest forward and leg back, and then step forward to a grounded warrior 3. Hands move forward. Right, you're just gonna try and emulate right where you are, and you have a straight leg. Pull those fingertips back, reach your heart forward, hug that right glute in towards your leg, big toes touch. Now in your halfway up position, exhale and bow. Inhale, rise, reach out if you have room. Exhale, hands to heart, so maybe big toes are together now. Take a moment, hands to your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and bow forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, stepping back with the opposite foot, plank pose. This time we'll find that knees, chest, and chin and try and land all 3 points at the same time. So pulling hands back and it's all coming down at once. Pause. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale and bow. Tuck your toes under this time. Knees, chest, chin. Lift up. Then push back to a child's pose with the toes tucked under. Take a breath cycle here. Look between your palms. And inhale. Just open up the legs. Try not to shift forward into your hands. Press the palms down. And there you go. Breathing. And always rest in child's pose or any other passive pose that feels like recovery for you. Feet together. Inhale the left leg up. Straighten both legs and arms. Pull your belly back. On an exhale, slowly. Now lift your body away from the mat to have room for that foot. Good, so torso stays down, belly in. Find that stability of the pelvis now by pushing left heel down. Connect to left sitting bone. Come forward, grounded warrior 3. Right, use the fingertips to pull back, reaching heart forward. One more big breath. Exhale, big toes touch. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, get big. Exhale, hands to heart. Repose, hands to your sides. And then open up the feet, hip distance. Hands to hips. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, come forward. Grab onto your big toes with your peace fingers and thumbs. Inhale and come halfway up. Lengthen the spine forward, pull the hips back. As you exhale, then cactus your arms to bring your torso between your legs. Yeah, so you're holding on to your toes, pushing those big toes down firmly. Rooting down through heels without sending the weight back. Right? How can you root through your heels without shifting all of the weight there? 2 more deep breaths. A bend in the knees is totally fine. Good, inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands. Hot boat feet back to downward facing dog. So we're gonna go for the dive in to chaturanga. If you haven't seen that before, just take a moment to look. So you bend the elbows. You gotta get that tailbone in pretty quick. You could always dive into a knees down chaturanga or with the knees up. Yeah, if you don't like that idea at all, skip it. Downward facing dog, let's give it a go. Exhale, pull the belly back, hug the elbows in, broaden the collarbones, tailbone, tailbone, tailbone. Lower to the ground. Interlace your hands behind your back. Wrap the shoulder blades together. Root the pubic bone down, strengthen your legs. Inhale, lift up. Right. Hug those thigh bones in and take your quads up to the sky. One more big breath. Exhale, release. Turn your head to one side. Let your booty go. Or maybe even rock the hips side to side. Good, again, reset. Forehead down, interlace hands, switch the grip. Wrap the shoulder blades together, root the pubic bone down, hug the thighs in, inhale, lift up. Use the inhales to get long, decompress. The exhales, maybe lift a little bit higher. So stay here with the body, release the hands to the low ribs. You can come into cobra first, root the pubic bone down, lift the chest up, and then maybe continue into upward facing dog, but you decide, keep pulling the hands back. Legs are strong, belly's in. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg floats up. Exhale, step inside your right hand. Keeping the back knee up, high crescent. Root down through that right heel to bring the torso up. Feel it connect to your right sitting bone again. Arms up. Now that right knee tracking over the ankle. If you need to go longer, you can. Lift those hip points up so much. Good, hands to heart. Diagonal pose. Right, feel now that you got more of a neutral spine, right, because the torso's in line with the hip, and then coming forward to either a grounded or ungrounded warrior three. I gotta pull my foot back. I'm running into my stereo. Right, or you can be grounded. One more big breath. Let's come up to one-legged Tadasana. Pull that left knee up. Hug your right glute into your midline. Straighten your right leg. Big toes touch. Good, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale and bow. Inhale, come halfway up. Now we're at the point in practice where you get to choose your vinyasa. So step or float back to a plank or chaturanga and lower halfway to up dog, lower to the ground for cobra, or maybe try that hop back to down dog and dive into chaturanga. Right, so you got choices. Also, skip it is a lovely choice. Meeting in down dog or resting in child's pose. Inhale, left leg floats up. Exhale, slowly step inside your left hand. Before you try and bring your torso up, root down through that left heel and connect to your pelvis. Come on up. Hugging in towards the midline and simultaneously reaching out. Hands come to heart. Tilt the torso forward, so you should feel that plumb line from head to back foot, right? And then coming forward to a warrior three. Again, I'm gonna take my foot back. It's just like in the studio when we'd run into the mirrors. Aww. All right, find your back body here. You are in spinal extension. One more breath. Pull that right knee up into the chest. Hug your left glute in. Press the palms together. Soften your forehead. Good, big toes touch. Hands to your sides. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Oh yeah. So you're going to sit back into your seat and you're searching. Your bum has a searching quality for your seat. But then we're also going to narrow those sitting bones again and notice how that turns on the belly. And with that support through our center, right, we can find more equanimity through the end. So press your feet down and reach your fingertips up. Let that get longer. Not the pose being held longer. Notice what comes up as you hold the pose longer. This does have a definite ending. This can be so calming, even if it sucks right now. Next, inhale, stand. Press into your palms, lift up, and as you exhale, cactus. Thighs together, chest lifts. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, coming halfway up. We'll meet in down dog. Go through your vinyasa or skip it. Inhale, right leg floats up. Bend the knee, roll the hip open. Let the left heel drop down. Soften the shoulders. Hug the belly in. Exhale, step to warrior one. Back foot down, coming up. So strong rooting through that back heel. Interlace your hands behind your back. Breathe in, open the chest. Exhale, humble your warrior. Hug your right thigh into your torso and vice versa. Then release the hands and keep your torso forward and start to snuggle your right shoulder towards your right knee. But watch the hips. And don't let the knee torque over that second toe. There's a hugging in of both legs towards the midline. Just a couple more breaths. And then unwind that right arm. Heel toe your right foot so that it's intersecting your left one. Maybe go a little bit wider, and then we're coming to warrior two. Your right knee tracking over that second toe, and then that left thigh bone and hip bone pulling back and open. Feel that broadness within the gathering in of the center to find that lift and lightness. Flip your right palm, inhale, reverse your warrior. And bring the torso up, straighten the front leg, moving into triangle pose. And always shorten the stance if needed. Rolling arms, block can always come under the hand if you like. Finding that twist open to the leg. So you roll your right hip back. And you're gonna roll your right ribs forward. Yes? 2 more deep breaths. Scissor your inner thighs. Gather the energy from the feet. Shoot it out through your ends. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Exhale, windmill your hands down either side of your front foot. Step back to plank, big toes touch. Roll to the pinky edge of your right foot. Side plank. Good, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg floats up. Bending knee, roll hip open. Soften your shoulders, engage your core. And feel that support of that outer right hip hugging in. Exhale, step inside your left hand, warrior one. Back heel roots down, bring the torso up. Right, noticing we're in a back bend here, so keep lifting those hip points up, containing the low abdominals. And releasing hands, switch the grip. Behind the back, inhale, open chest. Keep those shoulder blades knitting together as you come forward. Right, gravity's gonna try and take them to the ground. You'll use your muscles. Hug that left thigh in. Pull your belly back. Oh yeah, this side's different. Then release your hands. They'll both be inside that left foot. And then maybe start to sneak that left armpit under, left shoulder under your left knee pit. There was a pit involved. Okay, don't deviate the
hips and the feet though. I still got that hugging in, so there's adduction on your left thigh, strength of the back leg, belly engaged. One more breath. Good, so adjusting feet for warrior two, gonna unwind the arm to the side, maybe go a little longer, and come up on your feet. Hug in towards the center, reach out through your ends. In that constant balance. Flipping left palm, inhale, reverse. Bring the torso up, straighten the front leg. Triangle pose, maybe shortening stance. Make sure that left knee is not locked. Right, so micro bend, or it is possible to straighten your left leg without locking it. You definitely have to think about it the whole time, right? Because our body knows about that easy lockout mode. Keep extending through the chest. Oh, one more breath. Inhale, come up to warrior two, bend the front knee. Exhale, windmill hands down. Step back to plank, big toes touch. Rolling to the pinky edge of left foot. Right arm up, right? We can always take the top leg across or the bottom leg under. Stagger feet. Lifting chest. Good, plank pose. Down dog. Take a full inhale, top of the breath, and hold it. Take your tongue out, let it go. Child's pose. Yogi's choice, maybe knees closer together for more round in the spine, or wider if you want to stay with the hips. One more full breath. Back to down dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, hop to your hands. Come halfway up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, chair pose. Lift the heels. Hugging the ankles in towards the midline. Using the core. Even those hips hug in. Good, heels down, inhale, stand. Lift up, find a little back bend. And hands to heart, close your eyes. Okay, open your eyes. Tree pose, shifting weight into, we'll say right foot. So we're going kickstand to the calf, or taking it all the way up to the inner thigh. So remember, I know knee is a nice middle ground between the two, but we really need to stay secure with this pushing in, and we don't want to push on the knee. And so press your palms, drop your tailbone, straighten that right leg by lifting your quad up towards your hip crease. Steady your breath. Keeping hands at heart, take one more breath here. Now, breathe in, and then as you exhale, we're gonna release this foot, slide it behind us, kind of like we did on our pigeon pose. Over to the right side, not to the back corner as much, more to the right side. Come to the pinky edge, squeeze palms and thighs together, and then come back up to the tree pose. I'm not gonna make it all the way to my thigh without my hand. We'll do that 2 more times so you can practice. Exhale, come across the pinky edge there, hug that hip in. Inhale, coming back. Unamas, exhale. Belly helps so much, right? Inhale. Ooh, knee forward. Extend it. Big toes touch. Wah, wah. Right leg gets a ride in a minute, but if you need to give it a little love. Right, so feeling how much of that is happening here in the center. Hips and core is really gonna help you so much. Back extension too, yeah, don't let your shoulders start to come forward and your head start to come forward because that's more weight. Other side, right leg comes up, fit it in for your first hold. Right now, you're pushing that foot into the outside of your left hip, right? And then so that hip is pushing back into the foot. Feel that stability. Right, and remembering balance is not supposed to just happen. It's constant negotiation. So breathe in here. And as we exhale, release the foot carefully. Slide it over to the left side to your pinky edge, maybe straighten-ish. Hug the belly and squeeze the thighs. Good. Next inhale. Come back to your tree. What's going to be down there? Exhale. Take it back. It's, again, supposed to be shaky. We're moving on a moving planet. Come on back. One more. Belly. Hips hug in towards midline. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Come on back. Nice. Turn the knee forward. Turn the leg. Hands to your sides. Close your eyes. Just check in. Feel the energy you've moved. And following your breath from the center out to the ends, back to the center. Opening the eyes. Right, so if you have a blanket, grab that now. If not, rolling up your mat will work just great. We're gonna squat. So roll your mat if you don't have a blanket. I'm gonna use my blanket. I think it'll be easier to see the instructional. So finding a squat, so you're going as wide as your mat or your blanket with your heels on. And even if you can squat without, I recommend this. And also we're gonna do something afterwards with the blanket. So have a roll, friends, and then come on down. If this still isn't supportive enough to access your squat in some way that you can, that's tolerable, that you can be with, you can put a blanket block under your bottom. But I prefer to get more height under the heels and maybe go wider with the knees and allow you to experience not just a seat on this, because there's more weight towards the toes in a squat. And when you put the block back there on your butt, then it kind of makes it more of a seat, which takes away from the squat. Okay, so now you're gonna make sure your knees track over your second toes. Your elbows can help with that. You're scooping of the low belly, which happens with Mula Bandha. Take your tailbone to your pubic bone and pubic bone to tailbone at the same time. Right, and then as you breathe in, take your navel back towards your spine and breathe into your rib cage. And just notice all the space that's available when we engage appropriately. Right, when we start from the center and then move out through the ends. It just again works the same way in our life, right? We start out with the strength of our home and roots and go out into the world. Feel safe. Just a couple more breaths. Again, playing with that balance of engagement of the bandhas, and not like a crow pose engagement, right? But like we're trying to provide support so that the groin can relax. All right, hands down. I'm gonna take a forward fold. And you're gonna walk back, so your feet are now moving to a hip distance position, so a little bit narrower. You might want a block for this. I don't necessarily need it, but you might, right? Knees bent, and so feet are hip distance, and you're like on the medium part of this roll. So now I'm gonna go sideways so you can see it better. So I'm right in the middle of the roll. My hands are down, and my knees a little bent maybe, right? And then we're gonna take our toes up and reach heels down to the back side of that roll. And make sure you're taking your hips forward, not back. Oh yeah, and it's significant. And I'm gonna pedal my feet one at a time for this first little round. We'll do it a couple more times, so maybe you wanna do that too. Just one at a time, working through the hamstring. Up into the hips, and notice how that even translates up through the side body into the shoulders. Good, now take a break, come more towards your toes, like try and touch your toes down on the front side. Hips will go back just a little bit to keep everything plumb. And then again, heels down, toes up, hips come more forward as your chest goes back. Breathe into the backs of your legs. Notice the difference of when you actively lift your toes up to put your heels down and you just let the heels slide down. Again, go towards the toes. Maybe your torso is pretty close to your thighs, so give it one more go. Heels down, toes up. Using the support of the core to make space for the ends to grow. Good, towards the toes. Let her go. Block off to the side, hands down, step back. You can keep that roll there. Go back to down dog. And breathe into that space that you have made. Good. Coming down to hands and knees. It's camel pose. Yeah, so come up. You can tuck the toes under and maybe just take that roll and put it back here on your heels. It might give you the extra couple inches you need to reach your heels. And if you are close to a wall and you want to do this up against a wall, it's a really nice way to work this pose. If you're not at a wall, you're going to imagine that there's a wall in front of you. And the first thing I have to do, notice, because I got my own stuff, is to actually get my pubic bone against that imaginary wall, right? So that's that lift of the hip points up, hands on your buns, yeah, because it's the top of the buns going down that allows for the space, the lift of the chest. So inhale, push your knees down, toes down, hug the elbows in. As you exhale, lift your sternum. Don't worry about taking your hips forward, just come up, inhale, knees down, chest up, exhale, hug the elbows. Maybe finding the blanket. 3 more deep breaths. Keep hugging your elbows in, lift your chest. Good, coming up carefully. Back body and front body equally working. Untuck the toes, sit down on that roll if you have it there. Just the hands down to the thighs, close your eyes. Good, open your eyes. And then take that roll out. Maybe you're gonna sit on it and do a double pigeon or fire log pose. So either the right shin is on top, and you see how we're looking to have this foot on top of the knee, not behind it. Yeah, so it's even maybe past it. If that's so not happening, even with support, right, then you're gonna put the right shin in front of the left in the Sukhasana. Both of them are going to be hip opening as we move more forward. So then maybe if you're here and you've got a lot of space, you can always fill it, which will take the stress off of the joints. Right? We don't want to be hanging on joints. We want to be stretching muscle. Lift up tall. Pull those sitting bones back, right? If you're on a blanket, you want to feel like you're really on the front side of those sitting bones, almost like you're kind of falling off. Gently coming forward. Maybe at some point melting the head and shoulders down, but be mindful not to round back and tuck your tail under. Yeah, you want to send that tailbone back so that you're isolating the hips. Now, as we slow down the movement, allow your breath to guide you, keep you in your sensations. Staying introspective and curious about your body right now. One more full breath. Inhale and come up. And switch it out. Give it a little wiggle in the middle. Now left shin on top or in front for this side. Try and do the same thing you did on the first side. But it might be that on one side you cross the shin and that's not available on the other side. So it's fine to switch it up. Set your pelvis, right? That makes a big difference on everything. Center of you, right? It's gonna travel out through the ends. Coming forward carefully. Sitting upright in this position is a forward fold. Yes, it's a 90-degree angle there at your pelvis. So don't feel like you need to lean forward if you have plenty, just sitting upright. Softening the jaw. Letting the cheeks be heavy and slack and forehead soft. One more breath. Inhale to come up. Take the legs out and give them a little wiggle and then bend them. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Just lean back, little windshield wipers. Lay down on your back. Bridge pose, feet hip distance, arms along the side of the body. Press down into your feet. That lifts up the hips. Reach your knees away. It starts to lift more of the spine. Tuck and roll your shoulders under. Maybe interlacing the hands. And then press from the shoulders through the pinky edge of the arms, the hands, the feet, the knees reach away. Finding space on the front side of the body. And again, watching the breath come from the center out to the ends, returning to the center. One more breath. Release your arms, shoulders melt out, roll down. Take the feet a bit wider, let the knees drop in. Just pause here and breathe. Take your knees into your chest. Hug in, rock a bit side to side. And left hand takes the knees over to the left, right arm out to this side, find a twist. If there's a different orientation with your legs you prefer, like crossing your right thigh over your left or extending the top leg, or any of the things, please honor that for you. Last breath. Gently take legs to center and over to the other side. Same version as the first side, even though it might feel a bit different. Surrender your weight to gravity. Last breath. Taking legs back to the center. Hug them in again, this time taking knees to their respective armpits. Rock a little side to side. Open up through the front body and then send the soles of the feet up to the sky, happy baby. All right, this is about finding a neutral spine here and this flexion at the pelvis. So broaden your collarbones and your navel and your pelvis. And feel your hip points move laterally. And then rock side to side. When you rock right, feel the weight of the right hip point. Weight of left hip point, right? And let them gently draw apart there at the pelvic floor. And then as you're ready, find your Shavasana shape. You can use that blanket if you have one underneath your knees to support your low back. You can make just enough of a roll to support the cervical curve in your neck, right? It's not a pillow. It's just enough of a roll that fills that hole. And I cannot tell you how relaxing that is to my neck and shoulder muscles. Just having the support under that cervical curve. Once I learned that, I kind of always have to have it in Shavasana now. So if you have the opportunity to try it today, then please do. But the most important thing is that you find a shape that is so comfortable and so supportive that feels like your reward for your hard work. Really not just in this class, but up to this point in your life. You are there. You've done so many things. Let yourself rest into that support. Surrender. Get heavy. Feeling the weight of the pelvis in the center. Feeling that weight move out through the ends, back of the head, back of the hands, the heels. Observing your natural, quiet breath. As the stillness gets deeper, feel it start to pull the consciousness to the back of the skull. And the place between your eyebrows soften and open. Take a moment to honor where you are right now. Opening all your senses to this moment, that you have a guide, a roadmap through those senses back to this place as needed. Bend your elbows and bring your palms to your belly. Just gently start to deepen your breath. Have an experience with that. Feeling this prana, this life force, move from the center out to your ends, coming back to your center, nourishing you. As you're ready, bring some movement, coming back into your physical body. Make your way over to your right side into the fetal position. Pause here and honor the intention that you set. And gently come up to seated, finding a cross-legged position, and we'll find that Adho Merundana mudra again. So make the fist with the thumbs out, fingers down right at the hip creases there. Thumbs pointing in towards your center. Close your eyes. Feeling that balance coming from the center. That safety there through your roots. And gently bringing the palms together, Anjali Mudra. Thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste. Thank you guys so much.